Welcome back, Mindsetters. As I've seen on the page, Llewellyn and I, there's so much activity, guys. It's so awesome. I love having you guys being so interactive and so responding so nicely to each other's questions. I think it's really awesome and we're really enjoying that. If you do have one or two other questions, make sure that you send them to us right now on Facebook, guys. Send them through on Facebook just so that we get them really fast before the end of the show, because you know, when we're having fun, time goes extremely fast. Hey, Llewellyn?
Definitely, I agree, because, of course, I enjoy this. So the more fun I have, hopefully the more fun you guys are having. So when we left, I was explaining to you that the average female cycle is, of course, 28 days. The average. So please, it's not always 28 days. Hey? So this one is a 28-day cycle. As you can see, on day one, something starts being produced. Nothing's produced on day one. Day two, we start producing a thing called a Graafian follicle. Graafian follicle gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Remember, these are days, hey? On the 14th day, okay, have you noticed on the 14th day, something starts happening? 14th, 15th, right? Now, all of a sudden, we've got a corpus luteum. So there, it bursts, okay? On the 14th day, it bursts. So there's another word for bursting. I know I keep using bursting because it's a nice... I'm a man and I like explosions. So to me, that's like an explosion in a lady, right? So it bursts. But in actual fact, it just opens up, and we call that something specific. Can you tell me what that is? I'm going to leave that with you, Kat.
Okay.
If you can try get me that answer, if you don't mind.
I
Send it
will
in.
try.
What is it called when that thing is burst, when that Graafian follicle bursts and the egg is released? What is it? Okay. Now, as we're going on, the corpus luteum gets produced, and as you look, it gets smaller, and we're at the end, 28 days. First thing, before I get there, I want to know where in the cycle is day one actually? Is it the day that she stops bleeding or menstruating, or is it the day that she starts menstruating? That is a good question, because a lot of people don't actually know. Okay, want you to remember, as young adults, day one is the day you start your menstrual cycle, right? It's day one is the menstrual cycle started, but it's the day you start bleeding, right? Day one is the day you start bleeding. Day 28 is the end of it. Then it goes to day one where you start bleeding again. Okay, so it's not the day one is not the day you stop bleeding. It's the day you start bleeding. Okay, please remember that, because if you don't remember that, we can get into awful lot of trouble, right? We can get in a lot of trouble, and we don't want that. Okay. What I've done here is I've just given you same thing, 28-day cycle. Day one's over here, day 28's over here, and I've just given you two hormones, right? Can you remember that the single part of the brain that makes these hormones are called your pituitary gland? The pituitary gland produces two hormones. The one is FSH, and the other one is LH. In our terms, follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. Now, have a look at this very carefully. Follicle stimulating hormone, it's produced, see, it's nice and high, and then all of a sudden it starts dropping, right? It drops, it raises itself a little bit, and then back down again, and it goes across, and watch over here, it rises. So what are we going to start producing here again? A new follicle, okay? This hormone raises a little bit, because remember, as the estrogen levels are nice and high, right? It's nice and high where this whole thing happens, right? It's high, and as soon as it drops, remember, a little bit of follicle stimulating hormone is made again, but not enough. It's quite high, but not enough. It's not quick enough to keep a follicle from being made, right? It needs a lot to get that follicle being made. The next one is your luteinizing hormone. Your luteinizing hormone also produced at at the pituitary gland, right? Here it is. It's nice and low. Look what happens. As soon as it gets to close to the time when the estrogen level starts rising, it goes up, it peaks, it drops then again all the way down, and it carries on being normal again. what does luteinizing hormone do? It changes the Graafian follicle into the corpus luteum. So it makes that egg pop out. Let me find out. Kat, have you found out the answer yet?
Many people, Lucia and Emmanuel, all say, and Tamsanga as well, and Kashifa, they all say it's ovulation.
Very nice. Now, hopefully I didn't give it away. I tried to hide it, but it didn't come through. But there it is, ovulation. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, and I saw it.
Okay, well, the ovulation is the most worst time if you do not want a child. It's the worst time for a female because that is when you're going to get pregnant, right? That is a very important stage. That is when you are going to fall pregnant. Okay? That is when your egg is released. That is when it wants your sperm. It's calling it. Nothing else is going to help, right? That is the worst time. So, if you have a look at it very carefully, ovulation on a 28-day cycle is round about the 14th day. There it is. 14th day. If you have a look at the last slide, okay, last slide. If we bring it down again, and we give some start here, look what day it bursts, 14th day. If we go to the next slide, look round about where the FSH and the follicle and the luteinizing hormone is, 14th day. That's two things that have already shown us when ovulation takes place, or the bursting of the Graafian follicle to become the corpus luteum. Very, very important. Now, if we go to the next slide, I've done it again. Now I've changed it. I know I'm jumping from the one place to the other place and to another place, but hormones are hormones. They're all over your body. We need to find out what they are. What I've got here is the ovary hormones. So, in other words, the estrogen and the progesterone. Now, I want you to watch something very, very carefully. And you don't normally get taught this, right? If you have a look here, estrogen and progesterone, do they ever reach zero? They never do. They're always there. There's always estrogen and always progesterone in a woman's body. Okay, let's start off with the estrogen. Remember, as the Graafian follicle gets bigger and bigger and bigger, it gets higher and higher and higher. What happens once it bursts on the 14th day? What does it do? It starts decreasing. Sorry, I know I'm going hard, but I actually want to let you see what I'm doing. It goes lower and ends up on the same level as we started, right? The progesterone level, watch carefully, it starts, it's very low. As ovulation takes place, it starts rising to a certain point. When it gets to a certain point again, it starts decreasing and going to its normal self again, its normal levels. Now, that there tells us the exact same thing, that ovulation happens on the 14th day. What happens after ovulation? The progesterone level starts increasing and everything starts working nicely. This is all a rhythm. And have you noticed how they're all starting to work together? Okay? They all work together, which is very important. Okay? The next slide I've got for you. This is quite a funny diagram, right? This is a strange diagram. This is your endometrium wall. It's your endometrium wall. Now, watch this carefully. We start building it up, right? What makes it build up? The estrogen. Don't forget that. Estrogen builds up. It's two functions, building up a wall and stopping FSH from being made. Don't forget it. Very important. Okay? So it builds up the wall. See how it's building up the endometrium wall? What I'm going to do here is, not too much. Oh, what's over there? So let's take this yellow again, right? And I'm telling you that this piece here, if I do that, too much. If I do that, there we go. And, well, that's not very good at all. Through there, and I do the same over here. There we go. And I bring that one across. There we go. And I'm just going to put your ovaries over here so that we know where we're working. Now, this piece here, okay, this endometrium wall that's over here, what I've done is I've taken it, there it is. Can you see the little lines like that? I've taken that and I've popped it up like this. So from there, and I've popped it up, okay? So this part over here is the part that is against the uterus. Okay, so it just helps you understand. This piece is against the uterus, and then of course, this top piece is the outer part. So it's moved in. So it's this piece here. So this piece, talking green because it's nice there, that piece over there is this piece over here, and this piece over here is this piece over here. So I hope you're understanding what's going on. It's a very difficult diagram to get, but it all makes sense once you understand how it's all placed. Right. Now, if you have a look at it, the estrogen levels build it up, build it up, build it up, build it up. Right? Ovulation takes place. Now we start producing progesterone. Remember, the estrogen is still available. The progesterone makes it nice and thick and solid and hard. Not hard, but nice and meaty. See, to me, that's the best word to use, meaty. It gives it that buoyancy and that niceness, right? Okay, so that's what that piece does. It's very important, the progesterone. And as you see, as we get to a certain stage, look at this. It starts decreasing again. Why are we decreasing it? Because we're going through we're about to have our menstrual cycle. Remember, getting rid of all this endometrium wall. Okay, very important. Now, if I have a look at the next slide, this is something that they're going to give you, right? This is going to kill you. I want you to have a look at this very carefully. I'm going to try to go as much as possible. Okay. Let's stop it there. They've all one underneath each other. Now, one underneath each other is what they're going to give you in an exam. They'll never just give you one, right? Don't know why that went back, but they'll never just give you one. They will actually give you all of them together. Okay? They want to give you all together because they want you to see how they actually interact with each other. Right? It's not just a grade 8 class and a grade 9 class and a grade 10 class. It's a whole school. We all together. We one family, or we do everything together. So this one works at the same time this one works, at the same time this one works, and the same time this one works. So let's look. Here is your Graafian follicle. That gets bigger and bigger. As that gets bigger and bigger, what does it produce? Estrogen. The estrogen levels increase over there. You can see there's the estrogen levels over there. They all increase. The endometrium gets nice and thick. Okay, look at your FSH. It starts decreasing because that's what the estrogen does. It decreases the FSH. Then you're going to get the bursting. Remember, luteinizing hormone. There it is. It pops up. Okay, the estrogen levels become too high over here. That's why we produce luteinizing hormone. Luteinizing hormone makes the corpus luteum, so the Graafian follicle bursts. As the Graafian follicle bursts, remember, progesterone starts being made. Oh, look over here, progesterone starts being made. As the progesterone's being made, this gets nice and thick and meaty. Remember, luteinizing hormone and FSH start becoming back to normal. Can you see how they all interlink? It's unbelievable. It's so complicated, but so amazing. You know, it's like a miracle. To me, this is lekker, right? It's a nice word to use to me. That works so well together. Now, if I go to the next one, I just want to get a couple of questions. I'm sure you guys have all seen this on the net. Am I right?
Yes.
You have put it up there. So you've seen some of the questions, and we've gone through them. Like, state the role of the follicle stimulating hormone. What's its role? Very simple. We've gone through it thousands of times. To stimulate a follicle from being made. Very easy. Okay, let's get this all the way down so we can actually see what's happening. Name the hormone that is responsible for the start of oogenesis. Okay, it is can you remember? GnRH, gonadotrophin hormone, right? I just want to go through this as quick as possible because I want you to get some questions. These are the questions. And in actual fact, the questions are on the net, so I want you to go have a look at that. But what I want to show you, the most important thing is, let's get this finger going. If you have a look at that, before we go, look, that is what they're going to give you. Look at this, the brain. That's what's happening in the ovary. Comes all the way down to, if you can remember what I said. Remember, that's the top of the ovary, that's the inside, that's against the uterine wall. Look how all of it comes together. And they're actually going to tell you, have a look at this. What is this? What is A? What is C? And it all comes together. I mean, just by looking at it, we know that there is the corpus luteum, right? That there is when ovulation takes place, right? That there is the Graafian follicle all together. Okay, so enjoy it. Hopefully, I've helped you. I've tried as much as possible to actually get you and to understand the menstrual cycle or oogenesis. And it's a lot of fun, guys. You know what? Enjoy it. Hopefully, I've helped you out. And enjoy the rest of your evening. So, Kat, it's all yours.
Thank you, Llewellyn. That was an awesome show. And I know the grade 12s extremely enjoyed it, or enjoyed it extremely. So guys, next time, you know that maybe the male will be the hit for the day. I know all the females are very happy that all their questions got answered. And don't worry, we've got you males too. So guys, thank you so much for an awesome show. Remember to learn more and learn extra, because that is the only way we can get ahead. Cheers guys, bye.